Hello everyone. So today I thought I'll probably share this new project of mine. So from time to time I try to improve my workflow, and I have been using LibreOffice along with MS Microsoft Excel and also Google Sheets for a long time. And of course, for my own personal needs, wherever applicable, wherever I can, I of course prefer to use open source. And LibreOffice is definitely one really good uh, package that you can use for maybe writing documents, or maybe to work on spreadsheets, or maybe to create slides. Now for documents, I think I have managed to use org mode quite org mode along with LaTeX quite nicely, and I'm happy with it. Of course, I'm not really saying that I have replaced 100% of my LibreOffice documents to org mode, but I think this year I don't really remember using LibreOffice more than twice for documents. I mean, unless someone is sending me a doc file, of course I need a way to open it. But for my own document production, I'm using only org mode. For example, if you send me a doc file and you need the same doc file with some modifications, and I have to use LibreOffice. I mean, I can't really tell my clients, no, I'll not use it. And LibreOffice is there, and it works nicely on my Arch Linux because I use ThinkPad X220, and it is still, even in 2022, it works. For so this is of course documents. For slides, I use if you watch my videos, I use org reveal. So basically again Emacs. But for spreadsheets, now it is a bit difficult to replace things that you can do in a spreadsheet. And of course, I'm happy with LibreOffice Sheets because it is still open source. But of course, you want to use, I mean, my first preference is to use something which is terminal based, and which is not really bloated, or which is not really heavy. And because I was doing some analysis of my own sheets, like why I use sheets and what I do with them. So majority of my sheets has basically some data, and I need to basically let us say do simple things like if in a sheet, if let us say in a sheet I'm using or maybe keeping track of, let us say, my expenses, right? And or maybe let us say your bank statement, which is in Excel format or in sheet format in LibreOffice, or CSV, for example, because you anyways have CSV, which is a nice way to represent your data, and a simple way, by the way, text based. But when you have a sheet, you can of course create a pivot table. You can then find out, let us say, if you're keeping track of your expenses, or maybe if you want to do some analysis on your bank statement, then you can figure out, okay, in the last 2 years, I've spent this much on Netflix, or this much on that particular thing. So you need a pivot table for that, and it will of course give you things very quickly. So I thought, okay, let me try. So this is a project. Let me try to use only CSV without using LibreOffice, and preferably using command line based utilities. So after doing some research, I found that you can actually do these things using awk, which of course I was aware of it, but I never really bothered to write shell scripts. So my option number one would be to, again, if I can do something using available tools, awk, I have awk. We all have awk, right, installed. So I'll use it, I guess so. So you can do that. If you're doing, let us say, simple things like, let us say you have a group, a need to basically perform group by. For example, if you are basically looking at your expenses, or in this case, we are looking at, I guess, someone's name along with the country, and then some number. I guess it is some number, and you just want to maybe perform some calculations, or maybe sum the columns, or maybe you want to perform some group by. Maybe you want to group by England and then total this number. So you can do these things using awk, and you have to basically write some scripts. And I never really did this before, and this is something that I will try. I don't really want to do, for example, if I have to, let us say, perform some simple group buys, I don't really want to spend figuring out how to modify these or how to write these shell scripts. Basically, I'll try to write maybe a couple of shell scripts, and I'll see if if I can reuse those shell scripts over and over again for doing these common tasks where I have to probably analyze my CSV file. I also found this really wonderful article on the unixschool.com where someone has explained really nicely about these things that you can do. For example, how to sum the entries, how to perform group by, how to basically, let us say, fetch items or maybe remove the header, how you can consolidate multiple files together and act on it. So if you read this particular article, this blog, you will learn a lot. But I also found one utility called datamash. It is basically a command line utility for calculations. So I'll first try with awk, and I'll try if I can use it easily. I don't really want to spend too much time. I mean, again, this is not really my priority to spend like maybe I want to do something on the terminal using the available utilities, but if I find using awk a bit too difficult, because you have to write a script, right, and you have to basically figure out things like what kind of calculations you want to perform. If it is too difficult, I'll probably try then datamash. I'm sure there are other utilities. I found few utilities that can do things on a CSV file, and I'm sure if there's a utility, then it is probably built for doing this. I can see here that it says group by, cross tab. What is cross tab? Transpose, reverse, check. So this is something, this looks promising, datamash. And yeah, I will definitely talk about it a bit more in detail once I have something to share. And yeah, that is all I wanted to talk about. I'm basically trying to solve a problem, and I thought I'll probably share it with you, because if we can do something on the terminal, yeah, why not use terminal? I think these days we rely too much on software, even for doing simple things. I mean, when I say software, this is a software, but I mean heavy softwares. If you can do something easily, nicely using terminal, just do it on the terminal. All right, that is all I wanted to talk about today in this video. Bye bye.